Hello, everyone, and welcome to the big show. This is Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by TradingAcademy.com. If you're a first-time listener, thank you for stopping by. My name is Josh Lilquist, and we are happy to have you with us today. Once again, I always have a little intro for my good friend and my good pal, and sometimes...
Yes, and sometimes I can hardly wait. Let's see what you have to say this time.
Well, I was going to say, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and last time you wore this shirt, I said you look like a pumpkin, but you look nice today, Al. How are you doing?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic, and I'm very happy with it's a sweater, by the way, and it's that color that you might call pumpkin.
Yeah.
Where you shop, they probably call it punkin.
Punkin, yeah.
But I call it orange. It's that fashion terminology.
There you go, and you probably shop at Target as well.
And I'm wearing it because of the requests I've had from several of our viewers.
There you go. Well, it's a good thing our viewers on the radio can't see you.
They can't, but there are some that can.
That being said, this is not a comedy show. This is an investing show, and we're going to talk about the markets here today. What do you say?
Well, we're better at the investing part than the comedy part, so let's go.
Our attire is probably not as good either. But let's talk about the financial markets today. We had another phenomenal move in the market this week. And actually, we had some upward movement in the markets here the past, we'll call it really the whole month of November, from October of the end of the month all the way till really it just went straight up. But it has slowed down a little bit over the past 4 to 5 days as we got into the holiday with Thanksgiving. Everybody was giving thanks and everybody was thanking the market for having such a good week. But it's kind of slowed down a little bit, gapping up on Wednesday. GDP was on Wednesday, was good in the report. But just a lot of opportunities with these markets coming into the holiday season. And we're seeing a lot of people that really have been coming to the Academy and want to take advantage of those opportunities. So I want to talk about some of those opportunities today in the markets. But before we do that, I want you to give your insight here today. What are you seeing with the slowdown in the market after a huge rally? Are we seeing prices at the pump going to go down, go up with oil, and that's because that will dictate a lot of that? What's your insight in the market, and then we'll get into some opportunities later.
Yeah, gas prices have been coming down. GDP came out and it showed that the growth, the economy was still growing. The consumer was still spending, but spending a little bit less. And what we know is that a lot of the consumer spending now is based on debt and credit. They're going to credit cards and maybe even borrowing money from their 401ks. So, the forecast for GDP growth for the next forecast for this last quarter is going to be down closer to about 1.4, 1.5%. So GDP will be slowing down. But I think a lot of what's been driving the market moves, and the investors out there are always looking for something that they can look at and then make an assumption or prediction, and probably over-predicting, over-assuming. And the thing that's really been driving is the 10-year bond yield. That hit over 5% for a while. Now it's down to closer to 4.2%. So as that yield started coming down, the stock market started growing. And the reason is that as the bond market provides a higher yield, it becomes more attractive for people than the stock market.
Yeah, the highs of that was right about 5.01.
Yeah.
And really as of Wednesday, Thursday, 4.27. So that has dropped about, from the highs, about 15%.
Yeah. So that's really what people have been concentrating on now. The GDP report, when that first came out, the market rocketed and then pulled back a bit. But people respond to things. And typically after the initial response, the market does what it normally does, and it gets down to true valuations. But there also something happened this week that is really sad. And that is one of the top investors in history,
Tuesday.
Charlie Munger, passed away.
On Tuesday, 99 years old.
1 month shy of being 100 years old. If you don't know who Charlie Munger is, you do know who Warren Buffett is. Charlie was Warren Buffett's right-hand man. He was responsible for a lot of the success that Warren Buffett had in the market. Fantastic trader. And also a real character. He had a lot of really interesting one-liners. But Barron's put this article out. I think this is important because it really ties into how we educate people, how we teach. Charlie Munger said this. In the Barron's article, they said that he did so well because of one thing. He had an amazing ability to tune out distractions, to separate signal from noise, and to be well aware of what he didn't know. Exactly what we've been talking about. That signal from noise, that distractions, that's what I've often called fluff out there. People listen to all this chatter out there from so-called pundits, typically giving opinions that are different from each other, and they try to make their decisions based on that. What Charlie Munger did was to filter that out, which is what we're saying. Don't listen to what people are saying. Let's concentrate more on what the institutions are doing. Charlie Munger also said this. In this, I'm kind of paraphrasing this. I may not have the words correct, but he said, if you can't invest with equanimity, you deserve the mediocre returns you're going to get. What's equanimity? That's mental or emotional stability or composure, especially under tension or stress. Well, how do you invest with equanimity? You have to use a strategy that gives you the confidence of knowing that you're going to be okay. Whether you're right or wrong, that strategy has to provide that outcome. Where if you're wrong, it's not much of a negative to you. Maybe it's a very small loss. But if you're right and you have a profit, that profit stays with you.
Yeah, I like that insight. That's really good. And I was wondering why you were in your office for the past 4 days with your door closed. I mean, and you've been practicing saying that word, haven't you? Equanimity?
That's right. Yeah. A lot of people might not know that, but I have to look it up. Yes, I did.
I like that. No, that's good because it's just expanding your vocabulary. And that's what we're doing here on the show is not just expanding vocabulary, but getting these different concepts and techniques and opportunities, which is what we're going to talk about in the next few segments, to our listeners. So that way you can make smart investing decisions, have confidence doing that, and then, but really the big thing is getting started if you haven't done it before. And that's why we have these investing classes that we do here locally at the Academy. Al teaches these 2-hour investing classes where we go over the do's, the don'ts in the financial markets, how the institutions actually move money. He was talking about that equanimity quote he was talking about, you have to find out what the institutions are doing. That's where you find the best opportunity. And that's what we talk about in these investing classes. So I want to invite you to one of these classes. We have these classes several times during the week. We have during the week. We have them on the weekends. We have them in several locations. We have a state-of-the-art facility here in Bloomington. We love to see people come here. But we're also doing a little campaign across the metro area. We're doing some in Shoreview. We're doing some in Edina, just different locations. So hopefully we are making it more economical for people to get to, or geographically more inclined to come in. So let's and give some people some tickets. So text the word investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats, and that's for 2 seats for that class. Text the word investing to the number 210, or go to investwithota.com. Coming up next, we're going to talk about those opportunities, how to make smart decisions in the financial markets. This is Josh and Al, Investing and Trading Live. We will be right back.